What if I told you saying yes too often is actually a form of self-sabotage and saying no is one of the most radical acts of self-love? It might sound counterintuitive, but understanding the power behind your yes and no can change how you relate to others, how you set boundaries, and how you feel in your own skin. A lot of us get taught to be polite before we are taught to be honest. We get told to be agreeable before we even learn to check in with ourselves. And it is so hard to unlearn that. But when you keep saying yes while your nervous system is screaming at you, over time that disconnect quietly harms you. It erodes your self-trust, wires your nervous system for stress, and makes it hard to tell what you want at all. Let's talk about how to break that habit. There's a whole echo chamber of expectations around how we respond to others. We say yes to be nice, we avoid making it weird because we were taught that no is selfish, especially if you were raised as a girl or in an environment where obedience and likability were prized over honesty and autonomy. And then you're left with the cost. Burnout, resentment, identity drift. You start to lose track of what you want because you're so used to shaping yourself around the other's expectations. The disconnection adds up in your nervous system, your mood, and in the end also in your relationships. You might even start to feel flaky or unreliable, but you are not the problem here. The problem is the system that taught you to confuse compliance with connection. Most of the time when we say yes but mean no, it comes down to one of three things: people-pleasing, obligation, or avoiding discomfort. You want to be liked, you feel like you should, or you would rather carry the resentment than risk someone else being upset. In the moment, saying yes can feel like the path of the least resistance, but long term it's harmful. So what do you do instead? You check in, you pause, and you ask yourself, does this feel like something I want to do or something I feel like I have to do? And this question can shift the perspective. If you skip that check-in, you're more likely to default to your survival mode, not self-trust. And if you're into grounded conversations like this, please consider subscribing. I make content on self-awareness, any kind of healing, and real talk. I would love to have you here. And now to the inspiration of this video, human design. When I first learned about it, this part, how to say you know, this was the one that hit me the most. For those who aren't familiar, human design is a system that combines astrology, I Ching, Kabbalah, and the chakra system. It's a lot, but one of the most helpful takeaways for me is this: different people have different ways of arriving at a true decision, and that includes how we access our honest no. You don't need to know your entire chart to get something useful here, and that would also be a whole different talk. For today, it's just useful to know that there's more than one right way to decide. If you are someone with sacral authority, like I am, your yes or no tends to come fast, and it shows up in your body. Think of it like a full-body green or red light. You might feel a physical pull towards something, a warm buzz, an upward surge of energy. You might hear yourself go, uh-huh, or nah, before you've processed the logic. Your body might literally lean in, your energy rise just thinking about it. That's your yes. And if none of this is there, or it feels like effort, heaviness, or pressure, that's probably a no. With emotional authority, things move more like a wave. You might feel a yes right away, then doubt it later. That doesn't mean it's wrong. it means you haven't landed yet. Your clarity comes after the emotional high or low evens out. You wait. You sleep on it. Revisit it once you feel calm. Trust that the truth will rise naturally when you stop forcing the answer. If you have splenic authority, your inner no or yes is a quiet, indistinctive, and momentary. It's a subtle flash of knowing, often related to safety, timing, or resonance. It won't shout and it won't repeat itself. You have to learn to notice the whisper before your mind starts talking over it. It's often a gentle pull or a sharp repulsion, a tiny voice saying, "This isn't right." And for those with mental or projected authority, your clarity doesn't come from the body in the same way. It comes through sound when you speak things out loud. Talk to someone neutral, say it out loud to yourself in the mirror. You may not know what you think until you hear it spoken. And your voice helps shape in your knowing. You don't have to know your chart to take value from this. The point here is there's no one way to arrive at truth, but understanding your own process is the first step to reclaiming your honest no and your empowered yes. Whether you use human design or not, the core idea is universal. Your no lives in your body and it deserves a say. I will put a site to calculate your human design chart in the comments if you're interested in that though. And now let's talk about what happens next, because reclaiming your no is powerful, but so is reclaiming your yes. Not the automatic yes, not the pressured one, but the one that comes from clarity and alignment. When you start saying no where you mean no, your yes starts to shine. It becomes more wholehearted. That's how you start building what I call your alignment compass. And it starts with small habits. Pause before you respond. You don't need to have the answer right away. You don't owe anyone immediate access to your time or energy. Even in the job, you can just say, "Let me check my schedule and I get back to you. Can I think about it and let you know tomorrow?" Even if you already know your answer, giving yourself that pause is a powerful act of self-respect. And sure, some people might not love your no clarity, but when you change the rules, not everyone claps. That doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing it differently. It's your life, your energy, your body, your nervous system. You deserve to make choices that honor all of it. And here's the challenge for you this week. One honest yes, one honest no. No explaining, no apology. And one journal prompt for you. Where have I been saying yes when I meant no? What would it look like to say no with kindness next time? If this video helped you, please leave an emoji in the comments or just tell me how you're building your own compass. Until next time.